The night was cold, dark, and strangely silent, as if the whole world was holding its breath, and Ethan, a quiet human man living at the edge of the town, was fixing the old heater when someone knocked on his door with a slow, shaky sound. He thought it was the wind at first. But then the knocking came again, harder and more desperate. Ethan frowned and walked to the door, wondering who would visit at this hour. When he opened it, his heart almost stopped. A woman was standing outside, but not a normal woman, not human at all. She had silver blue skin that shimmered like moonlight, long white hair braided with golden threads, and a glowing collar around her neck that looked like it belonged to some alien royal family. Her wedding dress was torn in many places, soaked from the rain, and her eyes were filled with confusion and fear. She was breathing fast, shivering, and holding a small metallic box with strange letters glowing on it. Ethan stepped back in shock, but before he could say anything, the alien woman whispered in a broken voice, "Is this? Address 8472. Her voice was soft but tired, like she had traveled a very long distance. Ethan shook his head slowly. "No. This is 8473. The woman blinked, confused, and looked down at the box in her hands. She opened it slightly, and Ethan saw something like a marriage seal, two glowing symbols that locked together like rings. She realized her mistake, and her face fell as if her whole world collapsed. "I was shipped to the wrong human," she whispered. As if the words hurt, she took one step back. But her legs shook violently. Ethan didn't know what to do. And before he could offer help, she collapsed on the muddy ground, her hands still gripping the box tightly. He instantly rushed to her and lifted her gently, shocked at how light she felt, almost like she was made of soft energy instead of bones. Inside the house, the heater made a dull humming noise, and Ethan placed the alien bride on the couch. Her skin was ice cold, and her breathing was weak. He had no idea who she was or where she came from. But he knew one thing: if he left her outside, she would die. He covered her with a blanket and tried to warm her hands. The glowing collar around her neck pulsed faintly, like a dying star upstairs. He heard small footsteps. His crippled son, Liam, who walked with difficulty and needed support for every step, came slowly down the stairs. "What is happening, Dad?" Liam asked softly. Ethan hesitated, unsure how to explain. But Liam soon saw the alien woman lying on the couch. His eyes widened not in fear, but in worry. He walked closer, holding onto the railing for support. "Is she hurt?" Liam asked, sitting beside her carefully. Ethan nodded. "I think so." She came to the wrong house. Liam touched her hand gently, and to Ethan's surprise, the woman opened her eyes the moment Liam's fingers touched her. Her breathing quickened as she looked at the boy, as if she recognized something special inside him. You are human, child," she whispered in a weak voice. Liam nodded nervously, but smiled. "Yes, and you are very cold." Her silver blue eyes softened as she looked at Liam's weak legs, and she whispered, "You carry great pain." Liam lowered his head, feeling embarrassed, but she did not look at him with pity. She looked at him with respect. Then suddenly, the house lights flickered. Ethan froze, thinking the power was failing. But the alien woman grabbed his arm and whispered, "No. They found me." Her glowing collar flashed red for a second. Ethan looked out the window and saw faint shadows moving across the street, silent and smooth, like hunting animals. He did not know what they were, but he knew they were not human. The woman tried to sit up, panic in her eyes. "Please, hide me. They will take me away." "They will take you too." Ethan felt a cold fear rise inside him, but Liam held the woman's hand tightly. "We will not let anyone hurt you," the boy said with a soft but brave voice. The alien bride looked at Liam as if he was the only safe thing in this universe. and for the first time, a single tear rolled down her silver-blue cheek. Ethan locked the door and pulled the curtain shut outside. The shadows stopped right in front of their house. The silence grew heavier. The danger grew closer. And Ethan realized something he never thought before. This woman did not come to the wrong house. She came to the only house where someone would protect her. And someone outside was waiting to take her back. The storm outside grew heavier. Rain hitting the windows like thousands of tiny stones, but inside the small house, everything was quiet except the weak breathing of the alien bride lying on the couch. Ethan tried to understand what danger she was talking about, but her eyes were filled with real fear, the kind that comes from being hunted for a long time. She looked like she wanted to say more, but her voice shook whenever she tried to speak. Liam sat beside her, watching her face with gentle eyes. He had always been the kind of boy who felt the pain of others more quickly than his own. Maybe because he lived with pain every day, his weak legs, his slow steps, the constant struggle to walk from one room to another. But even with his struggles, Liam had a heart that glowed with kindness. And when he first touched the alien woman's cold hand, something changed inside her. Something woke up. She slowly turned her face toward him, studying the boy as if she was seeing something rare, something important. You are not afraid of me," she whispered weakly. Liam shook his head. "No, I'm not afraid." "You look scared, and I don't like seeing anyone scared." His voice was soft, but it held a strength far older than his years. The alien bride blinked slowly, trying to understand the feeling inside her chest. On her planet, humans were described as rough, cruel, and dangerous. But this small boy with trembling legs was showing her a kindness she had never felt, even among her own people. "What is your name?" Liam asked quietly. The woman hesitated, as if her name was a secret she was afraid to reveal. After a long pause, she whispered, "Soraya." Liam smiled. "Soraya. That's a beautiful name." She looked away. Hiding the small spark of warmth she felt, Ethan stood near the window, watching the shadows outside move slowly, searching, scanning, waiting. He turned toward Soraya, worry on his face. "Who is looking for you? Why are they here?" Soraya took a slow breath, her body trembling. "Hunters. From my world. They track runaways. I escaped before the wedding, but they always find who they want." Liam's eyes widened. "You escaped. Why?" Soraya closed her eyes for a moment, as if remembering a painful memory. "My marriage was not a marriage. It was a purchase. I was not meant to be a bride. I was meant to be property," she said in a quiet, broken voice. Liam's heart tightened. That's not right. No one should belong to someone like that. Ethan felt anger rising inside him too, but before he could say anything, the lights flickered again. Soraya grabbed Liam's wrist, her hand glowing faintly for a moment. Liam gasped softly, "Your hand. It is warm now." Soraya looked down at her glowing fingers, confused, strange. "I did not mean to use energy, but your body responds to it." Liam blinked. "Responds? What do you mean?" She touched his leg slightly, and a soft wave of golden light flowed from her palm. Liam felt something he hadn't felt in years: warmth, relief, strength. His eyes widened. "My leg. It hurts less." Ethan stared in disbelief. "You healed him?" Soraya shook her head slowly. "Not healed. I only pushed away the pain. My energy reacts to emotion. Your son's heart is bright." Liam lowered his head shyly, but inside he felt something new: hope. But the moment of warmth ended when a loud metallic click came from outside. Ethan rushed to the window and saw a floating drone scanning the house, red lights passing over the walls. Soraya's body stiffened. "They found me? They will break the door soon. Hunters do not knock twice." Liam's small hand wrapped around hers. Surprising even Soraya, "We will protect you," he said, his voice shaking but determined. Ethan took a deep breath and locked every door, every window. He turned off all lights and whispered, "Follow me. We need to hide." Soraya tried to stand, but her legs were weak. Liam placed her arm around his shoulders, even though he could barely walk himself. It took all his strength. But he helped her move toward the basement door, step by slow step. Soraya looked at him with something close to awe. "You carry pain, and still help me." "Why?" Liam answered without thinking, "Because you looked alone. And no one deserves to be hunted." They reached the basement just as the shadows outside stopped in front of the house. Soraya heard them speak in a harsh alien language, their voices like metal scraping stone. Ethan pushed Soraya and Liam behind an old shelf. The basement was cold and dark, but it was the only place they could hide. Upstairs, heavy footsteps entered the house. The hunters were inside, and Soraya knew one thing: her life was no longer just her own. The boy who helped her was now part of her fate, and she would not let the hunters touch him. The basement was dark and cold, but Soraya felt something even colder: the slow, heavy footsteps of the hunters moving above them, each step echoing through the house like a warning. Ethan held his breath as shadows crossed the cracks under the basement door. Liam, sitting beside Soraya, squeezed her hand gently, trying to keep her calm. Even though fear was shaking his own small body, Soraya listened closely, her heart beating in strange rhythms. Back on her planet, the hunters were known for their cruelty, for never stopping until they captured their target. But she had never expected them to cross galaxies just for her. Her glowing collar flashed a faint warning, a signal she didn't want Ethan or Liam to see. In the darkness, Liam whispered, "Soraya, can they hurt us?" She looked at him, her voice soft. "If they find me, yes. They will take you and your father too. They cannot leave witnesses." Liam swallowed hard, but his hand did not let go of hers. Ethan felt anger rising. "Why are they after you? What do they want?" Soraya stared at the basement floor for a long moment before she finally spoke. "When I was born, the priestesses said I had a rare gift, a healing energy inside me. My touch can calm pain, give strength, cure wounds, even power machines." Liam's eyes widened. "Machines?" She nodded slowly. "My power is more than healing. It is energy, strong energy. And the Lord I was forced to marry wanted to use me as a living power source." Ethan felt sick. "They wanted to use you like a battery." Soraya nodded, shame filling her voice. "Yes. My wedding dress is only a cover. I was not meant to be a bride. Only a tool." Liam shook his head, anger burning in his chest. "That's wrong. That's evil." Soraya looked at the boy, surprised by the strength in his voice. The hunter's footsteps faded for a moment. Giving them a small chance to breathe, Soraya leaned against the wall, tired, weak, her energy nearly gone. Then Liam looked at his leg, remembering the warm, glowing feeling he felt earlier. "Soraya, when you touched me upstairs, I felt something change. The pain is less." She looked at him closely, her voice trembling. "Yes. Your body responds strongly to my energy. I've never seen that before." She placed her hand gently on his leg again. And this time, Liam felt a soft wave of golden warmth spreading through his body like gentle fire. His eyes widened as strength filled his muscles, strength he had not felt in years. Ethan watched in silent awe. "He looks better." Soraya blinked in confusion. "This is impossible. Humans normally push away my energy. But your son, he accepts it." Liam didn't know what to say, but for the first time in his life, he felt like someone understood him, not as a weak child, but as someone important. Soraya looked at him with something close to wonder. Your heart. It is bright, pure. Your emotions help my energy flow. Liam smiled shyly. Maybe we help each other. Soraya felt warmth in her chest, something she never felt before. A strange bond was forming, something deep and emotional. Something she couldn't explain, but the moment ended when something crashed upstairs. The hunters were searching more aggressively now. Knocking over furniture, breaking doors, Ethan whispered. They're turning the whole house upside down, suddenly. The basement door rattled, Liam froze, and Soraya grabbed his hand tightly. Heavy footsteps stopped right outside the basement door. The metallic voice of a hunter growled in a deep alien language, and Soraya understood every word. Check the lower level. She is close. Ethan's heart pounded like a drum. He motioned for Soraya and Liam to stay silent while he quietly picked up an old iron rod from the floor. Liam whispered, "Dad?" "No." Ethan whispered back, "I won't let them take you or her." The basement door cracked open slowly. A long shadow fell down the stairs, a tall alien silhouette appeared, armor dark, helmet glowing with red symbols, their breathing heavy like a machine. Soraya felt her whole body turn cold. Hunter General. He came himself. She could not believe if they had sent the strongest one. This was no ordinary hunter. This was the one who captured whole star villages alone. Ethan stepped forward with the iron rod, ready to fight even though he knew he would lose. But the moment the Hunter General stepped onto the last stair, Liam cried out, "Soraya, don't let him hurt Dad." In that second, something inside Soraya snapped open like a door breaking. Golden light burst from her hands, stronger, brighter, wilder than anything she ever used before. The energy shot forward in a powerful wave. The Hunter General was thrown back up the stairs, crashing into the wall above with a loud metallic scream. Liam stared at Soraya in shock. Ethan stood frozen, unable to speak. Soraya looked at her glowing hands, horrified at her own power. I don't know what I just did," she whispered, trembling. But one thing was clear now. Her gift was far greater than she believed. And the hunters would never stop until they controlled it, and worse. They now knew exactly where she was. The explosion of golden light shook the whole house. Dust falling from the ceiling as the Hunter General's armored body slammed against the wall upstairs. For a moment, everything became silent to silent, like the world was holding its breath again. Ethan stared at the basement stairs, gripping the iron rod tightly, unsure if the powerful alien was unconscious or preparing another strike. Liam clung to Soraya's arm, his heart pounding fast, but his eyes full of fierce courage. Soraya's glowing hands dimmed slowly, the light fading as quickly as it came. Her breath trembled. That energy? I never used so much at one time. I cannot do it again without rest. Ethan turned to her, worry in his voice. Soraya, can you continue? She shook her head weakly. Not for long. I am running out of strength. Then boom. The Hunter General roared with rage upstairs, his heavy footsteps shaking the wooden floor. His voice echoed like metal scraping metal, calling to the others. Target located. Secure the building. No survivors. Ethan felt ice crawl up his spine. They're coming, he whispered. Soraya grabbed Liam's hand tightly. We must move. If they trap us here, we cannot escape. Ethan opened a small back door inside the basement that led to a narrow underground storage tunnel he used to keep old tools. Go quickly, he whispered, pushing Soraya and Liam forward. But as they stepped into the tunnel, the main basement door burst open with a violent crash. Two hunters rushed inside, tall figures with dark armor and glowing red helmets, their sharp metal claws clicking as they walked. Ethan raised the iron rod. Even though it looked pathetic compared to their weapons, one hunter stepped forward, voice cold. Human. Surrender the runaway. Ethan's jaw tightened. Not happening. The hunter moved faster than a blink. Grabbing Ethan by the throat and lifting him off the ground, Liam screamed, "No, Dad." Soraya tried to summon her energy, but only a faint spark came out. She was too drained. The hunter tightened his grip, Ethan gasping for air. Liam rushed forward, despite his weak legs, his hands shaking but fearless. He grabbed the hunter's arm with both hands, trying to pull him away from his father. The hunter laughed a low, cruel sound. "A crippled human boy dares to touch me." Soraya's eyes widened, pain and anger burning in her chest. "No." "Do not hurt him," she whispered with shaking voice. Her glowing collar flashed again, reacting to her emotions. But she was too weak to release another powerful wave. The hunter general appeared at the top of the basement stairs. Cracked armor still smoking from Soraya's earlier blast, his voice thundered. "Enough. Kill the man. Take the boy as leverage. Bring the girl to the ship." Ethan's eyes widened. He knew he couldn't fight all of them. But then, something happened. A faint hum filled the air. Quiet at first, then louder. Soraya gasped. Looking at Liam, the golden energy she had given him earlier. It was waking up again, reacting to his fear and courage. A soft glow spread across his hands, growing brighter each second. The hunter holding Ethan suddenly jerked, electricity running through his armor. Liam didn't understand what was happening, he only felt something warm and powerful inside him. The hunter dropped Ethan in shock, stepping back. "What is this?" "Human, child." "Energy," Soraya whispered. "Liam, your body is amplifying my energy." "I have never seen this in any species." Ethan coughed heavily, but managed to stand up. Helped by Liam's glowing hand, the hunter general roared, "Capture the boy alive. He is valuable." His soldiers rushed forward. Ethan pushed Soraya and Liam through the storage tunnel entrance. "Go." Now they crawled through the narrow, dark tunnel, hearing metal footsteps chasing behind them. Soraya struggled to breathe, exhaustion pulling her down. But Liam supported her with surprising strength, the golden glow in his hands brightening as he held her. The tunnel led to the outside behind the house, opening near a line of old trees. The forest drawing them in like a shadowy shield. Rain poured harder, masking their footsteps. But they could still hear the hunters coming, their voices echoing through the night. Soraya looked at Liam, her voice trembling. "You saved your father, and me. Your body is special." Liam shook his head. "I just didn't want anyone to get hurt." Soraya touched his cheek gently. "That is why your heart glows, strong." Pure, they entered the forest, branches bending in the wind, lightning flashing above them. Ethan turned back and saw the hunters emerging from the tunnel, scanning the ground with bright red lights. He whispered urgently, "We need to reach the old cabin deeper in the woods. It's hidden. We can stay there until they stop searching." Soraya's breathing was slowing. She was running out of strength fast. Liam held her tighter, refusing to let her fall. Ethan guided them through the darkness, every step filled with fear and urgency behind them. The hunter general stood at the edge of the forest. He raised his arm, scanning for Soraya's energy. His red visor glowed brighter. "They are close," he growled. "Do not let them escape. The girl is our power source. The boy is a new asset." The storm raged on. The hunt had officially begun, and the forest would soon become a battlefield. The forest was dark and heavy with rain, and every sound felt sharp as the snap of branches under their feet. The distant rumble of thunder, and the hunters' metallic voices echoing far behind them. Ethan pushed through thick bushes, helping Soraya stay upright, while Liam held her other arm. The golden glow in his hands shimmering faintly like a weak candle in the storm. Soraya's steps were slowing, her body trembling from exhaustion. They finally reached the old wooden cabinet, looked abandoned. Broken windows, half-collapsed roof, and thick vines crawling up the walls. But inside, it was dry and hidden enough to give them a temporary shelter. Ethan closed the creaking door as quietly as possible and placed a cracked wooden beam to block it. Soraya leaned against the wall, breathing weakly, her glowing collar dim and flickering. Liam knelt beside her. "Soraya, are you okay?" She closed her eyes. "I am. Trying, but my energy is nearly gone." "I used too much." Liam placed his hand on hers, and again. A soft golden shimmer passed between them. Soraya gasped quietly. "Your touch. It restores me." "But how?" Ethan sat nearby, wiping the rain from his face. "I think now is the time you tell us everything," he said softly but firmly. Soraya opened her eyes slowly, sadness filling them. "I told you about my healing," she said, her voice shaky. "But that is not the whole truth." Liam looked confused, but listened closely. Soraya took a deep breath, gathering strength. "On my planet, children born with energy inside them are rare," she began. "My power is not normal healing. It is emotional energy. It reacts to feelings, fear, sadness, courage, love." Ethan frowned. "So your power depends on emotions?" She nodded slowly. "Yes. The stronger the emotion, the stronger my energy." Liam blinked. "Then why does it work so strong with me?" Soraya looked at him with deep, soft eyes. "Because your heart carries heavy pain. But also pure kindness," she whispered. "Your emotions are strong, honest, and completely open." Liam lowered his head, his voice small. "Because of my legs." Soraya shook her head gently. "No, Liam. Pain is not shameful. Your heart learned to stay kind even when life was unkind to you. That is rare." Ethan was silent, letting her words sink in. He had spent years watching Liam struggle, fighting pain he never deserved. Hearing Soraya speak with such respect made something inside him tighten. Soraya continued. "The Lord who wanted me. He wanted to use my energy to power his war machines. They tested my abilities since I was a child. They learned that when I felt fear, the power grew stronger." Liam flinched. "They scared you on purpose?" She nodded, shame filling her eyes. "Yes. They used pain and fear to force my energy to grow. They saw me only as a source of power." Ethan clenched his fists, anger burning inside him. "Monsters," he whispered. Soraya continued, voice trembling. "When I came of age, they announced the marriage. It was not a real marriage. It was a contract. After the ceremony, I would be taken to the energy chambers. I would be connected to machines, drained, until nothing of me remained." Liam's eyes filled with tears. "That's horrible." Soraya gently wiped his cheek with a weak hand. "You understand more than most adults. That is why my energy reacts to you." She looked at Ethan now, her voice quiet but heavy with truth. "The hunters want me back, because without me, the Lord's war machines cannot function. And now?" She paused, looking at Liam's glowing hands. "They want Liam too. His energy combined with mine. It is something new, something dangerous for them. Or useful." Ethan felt cold fear crash into him. "They will never take him," he said, his voice sharp. Soraya nodded weakly. "I will protect him, even if it costs my life." Lightning flashed outside the broken window, illuminating the forest for a brief second. The sound of footsteps echoed faintly, distant, but getting closer. Ethan whispered, "They're still searching." Soraya's body trembled. "I cannot run anymore." "Not tonight." Liam held her hand tighter, the golden glow slowly spreading up his arm. "If they come, I will stand with you," he said bravely. Soraya looked at him with emotion burning in her tired eyes. "Your courage. It gives me strength." Ethan looked between them, his fragile son and this exhausted alien woman ant felt something change inside him. They were no longer strangers, no longer a mistake at the wrong address. They were connected by something deep and impossible. Then a loud crack echoed outside, footsteps breaking branches. The hunters had found their trail again. Red lights flickered through the forest like glowing eyes searching for prey. Ethan whispered urgently. "They're close." Soraya tried to stand, but collapsed again. Liam caught her, his hands glowing brighter. "Stay with us," he whispered. "Don't let go." Soraya looked into his eyes and saw something she had never seen before. A reason to fight. A reason to live. The truth was out. The danger was closer. And the bond between them was stronger than ever. But the hunters were almost at the cabin. And they were not coming to talk. The forest outside the old cabin was filled with cold mist, and the rain had softened into a steady whisper. But inside the cabin, the air felt tight and heavy. Thick with fear and tension, Ethan peeked through a cracked window. His muscles stiff, his breath slow. Red lights flickered between the trees, hunters moving like shadows. Closing in on their location, Soraya sat against the cabin wall. Her breathing shallow, her energy almost gone. Even the glowing collar around her neck flickered weakly. Like a dying candle, Liam stayed beside her, holding her hand with both of his small hands. The golden glow in his palms was brighter now, stronger, spreading up his arms in thin. Glowing veins of light, Soraya watched the light with wide, confused eyes. "Your body. It is changing. Adapting to my energy," she whispered. Liam looked down at his glowing hands. Not afraid this time. "Is it bad?" he asked quietly. Soraya shook her head slowly. "No. It is beautiful. It means we are connected." Ethan turned away from the window, his face pale. "They're almost here." "Maybe minutes away," he said, trying to keep his voice steady. Soraya tried to stand, her legs trembling. But she collapsed before she could rise fully. Liam caught her with surprising strength, golden light flowing from his hands into her body. Soraya gasped, her body warmed, her breath steadied, and her eyes grew brighter. "Liam, you restored me again," she whispered, amazed. Liam blinked. "I'm just trying to help you," Soraya smiled weakly. "Your heart is stronger than your legs ever were before they could speak more." The cabin shook thud. A heavy footstep slammed against the front porch. Ethan picked up a long wooden stick from the corner and whispered, "They found us." The door shook violently as something punched it from outside. Soraya pulled Liam behind her, even though she could barely stand. The second hit cracked the wood. The third hit blew the door off its hinges, sending splinters flying across the room. 3 hunters stepped inside, tall and dark, their glowing red helmets scanning the cabin. Behind them, the hunter general entered. His armor cracked from Soraya's earlier blast, but his anger still burning like fire. He pointed at Soraya, his voice like metal thorns. "Target confirmed," he growled. His helmet turned toward Liam and the human boy. "You will come with us." Ethan stepped forward, gripping the stick tightly. "You're not taking my son," he said. Voice shaking but brave, the hunter general laughed. A cold, cruel sound. "You are weak, human. This is not your fight." He lifted a metallic spear, ready to strike. Before Ethan could react, Liam stepped in front of him, arms out, glowing brighter than ever. "Don't touch my dad," he shouted. A sharp wave of golden energy burst from Liam's small body. Spreading like light through dark water, the hunters stumbled back, surprised. Even Soraya gasped. The energy wasn't hers this time. It came entirely from Liam. The hunter general steadied himself and stared at the boy. His red visor glowed brighter, scanning Liam's body. Impossible. A human child producing energy. Without a conduit, he stepped closer, fascinated. "You are a more valuable asset than she is," he said, pointing at Soraya. You will come with us now." Liam shook his head fiercely. "No, I'm staying with her. And with my dad." His hands glowed even brighter, golden light swirling around his fingers like tiny flames. Soraya crawled to Liam, placing one shaking hand on his shoulder. Her touch stabilized the energy, turning it into a steady, bright glow. "Liam, listen to me. Don't use too much. Your body is small. It cannot hold unlimited energy," she warned. But Liam didn't back down. He placed his feet firmly on the wooden floor. For once, his legs didn't shake. Didn't weaken, they held him strong, steady, powerful. He looked at the Hunter General with fearless eyes. "You hurt my dad. You scared Soraya. You don't get to take anyone." The Hunter General raised his hand, activating a glowing weapon blade. "If you resist," he growled, "you will be eliminated." Liam took a deep breath. And then something incredible happened. Golden light wrapped around him like armor, forming a soft, glowing shield. Soraya whispered in awe, "He is channeling my power. With pure emotion, he is becoming something new." The Hunter General charged forward. Ethan yelled, "Liam, look out!" But the boy didn't move. He raised his glowing hands, and a shockwave erupted outward. The Hunter General was thrown across the cabin, crashing into the far wall. The other hunters stumbled, their armor sparking, unable to withstand the blast. Soraya stared at Liam with trembling eyes. "Liam, you saved us," she whispered. The boy looked at his hands, surprised by his own power. "I just didn't want anyone to get hurt," he said softly. Ethan rushed to hold his son, hugging him tightly. "I'm so proud of you," he whispered, voice breaking. But Soraya's expression changed. She sensed something else coming. She could feel a massive ship lowering above the forest. The ground trembled under their feet. "The Lord," she whispered in fear, "he is coming." The night was not over. The final danger had arrived. The ground trembled like a heartbeat beneath their feet. The cabin walls shook, dust falling from the ceiling outside. The forest lit up with a cold blue glow as a massive alien ship lowered through the clouds, larger than any human aircraft, loud enough to shake the entire valley. Soraya froze, her breath stopping for a second. "That is not a hunter ship," she whispered. Fear spreading through her voice like poison. "That is the Lord's personal cruiser. He came himself." Ethan's fists tightened, his face pale. "If he takes you." "Or Liam," he began, but couldn't finish the sentence. Liam stood in the middle of the small cabin, golden light still flowing around his arms like soft fire. He looked up at the glowing sky, his small chest rising and falling quickly. "I won't let him hurt anyone," he whispered. But his voice was full of courage, not fear. A giant shadow fell outside the broken window. The ship's doors opened, releasing a long metallic ramp. From it descended armored soldiers, bigger, stronger, more dangerous than the hunters who came before. And behind them, a tall figure in shining silver armor, his helmet crowned with curved horns and glowing red lines across his chest. The alien lord, the one who wanted to own Soraya, the one who saw her only as a tool, not a person. His voice echoed through the forest, loud and cruel. "Soraya, you cannot run anymore. Your energy belongs to me." Soraya's body trembled, old memories of torture and fear rising like dark shadows inside her. Ethan grabbed her shoulders, forcing her to look at him. "You are not his property," he said firmly. "You are a person. You choose your life now." Tears gathered in Soraya's eyes. No one had ever said words like that to her before. The cabin door ripped open, torn completely off its frame as the alien lord walked in. His red visor scanned the room, focusing first on Soraya. "You disobeyed your purpose," he said coldly. Then he turned to Liam. "And you, human child, you surprised me. A rare specimen. You will come with me too. Liam stepped forward before Ethan or Soraya could react. Golden light covered his small arms completely, glowing brighter with every heartbeat. No, he said. You don't get to take her. The alien lord tilted his head. Amused, and what will you do, little cripple? He mocked. The words stabbed Liam's heart for a moment, but only for a moment. He straightened his back, and for the first time in years, he stood without shaking, his legs strong, steady, glowing with the same energy flowing in his hands. I'm not weak, Liam said quietly, and she's not yours. Soraya covered her mouth in shock. The boy she met just hours ago, the boy who could barely walk, now stood like a warrior between her and danger. The alien lord raised his arm, summoning a giant spear of crackling blue energy. I will take my power by force, he growled. He charged forward. The force shook the ground. Ethan shouted, Liam. But Liam didn't run. He lifted his glowing hands, golden energy swirling like a storm around him. The moment the spear struck his shield, a huge blast of light filled the cabin. Golden and blue energy collided. The floor cracked, the walls shook apart. The forest outside roared like a living creature. Soraya reached for Liam, tears streaming down her face. Liam, stop, you will burn yourself out. Liam pushed harder, his small body shaking but refusing to fall. He can't hurt you ever again, he shouted. The alien lord stumbled back, shocked that a human child could block his attack. His armor flickered, energy sparking wildly. Soraya crawled to Liam and placed both her hands on his shoulders. Her own energy weak but true merged with his. A brighter golden wave formed around them, not pain, not fear, but something stronger. Connection, family, hope. The alien lord tried to attack again, but the combined energy blew him off his feet. Throwing him outside the cabin and into the mud, his soldiers rushed to help him. But when they scanned Soraya and Liam's energy field, they froze. One soldier's robotic voice trembled. Warning. Their combined energy is unstable, too strong, too emotional. To human, the alien lord stood slowly, staring at Soraya with a mix of rage and fear. You are useless to me now, he spat. You are broken. Soraya wiped her tears and stood beside Ethan and Liam. No, she said quietly, I am free. The alien lord glared at them one last time. Then he ordered his soldiers to retreat. His ship lifted into the sky, leaving the forest shaking behind it. When the light faded and silence returned, Liam collapsed into Ethan's arms. Exhausted, Soraya knelt beside them, holding Liam's hand gently. You saved me, she whispered. You saved us both. Liam smiled weakly. You came to the wrong house. But maybe it was the right home. Soraya's heart melted. For the first time in her life, she felt what she had never understood before. Belonging, love, a place to stay. Ethan placed his arm around her. You're part of this family now, he said softly. No hunter, no lord. No one will take you from us. Soraya closed her eyes, tears falling, but they were not tears of fear anymore. They were tears of peace, of finally being safe, finally being loved. The alien bride had found her real home, not by accident, but by destiny.